Question is indeed amazing and greatly deep. My question is, when the Bible says if the foundation is wrong, the righteous can do nothing, that means there are things that the righteous did that established a wrong foundation that can never be put right. But when it comes to marriage, is there an exception? In the sense that if you get born again after being in a contraption, even if you were not meant to be together, you pay the bride price and now say you're authentically married. Are we managing crisis that will explode later?
Of course, definitely you are. Because, like I said, paying bride price during a church wedding cannot make what is not God's will, God's will. There are 7 steps into marriage. The first step is conception.
Yes.
Conception can last for even 20 years because you are still conceiving. Conception. This is where you step into what is God's will for your life.
Yes.
And you need a lot of revelation at the point of conception. So, when you now conceive, then the next step you take will now be in God's will because you have conceived what the will of God is concerning this person and all of that stuff. So you don't dress something that is not God's will. You dress only what is God's will. Bride price, wedding are the human steps we take to accept what is God's will into our lives. Are the human steps we take to align with what is God's will. So this person is God's will for your life. You now go and pay her bride price because she's God's will for your life. You now take her to the altar and wed her because she's God's will for your life. So you don't pay her bride price, take her to the altar to make her God's will for your life.
Yes.
Wow. So some people think that by the time we have our marriage is having crisis, when we do church blessing, crisis will disappear. It's not true.
Because God is not in it in the first place.
It's not true. You have to be God. And here's the point. Let's assume 2 of them were not saved. They now got into Christ. They didn't be paid right, but they were just cohabiting. And they now got into Christ and now got the knowledge of the truth. They got saved. What is saved? The spirit was regenerated. I'm not saying you recite the sinner's prayer. The spirit was generated. So the spirit of the man was regenerated. The spirit of the woman was regenerated. That alone will spread a conviction in your heart that you need to go and pay the bride price of this man and they receive a blessing for your marriage. And since your spirit has been convicted and you have children in your hands, the spirit will convict your spirit, will harmonize your heart and make you one. As a result, there will be no crisis in the marriage because you are not in the same kingdom.
Okay, now that has...
So the problem we're having is that somebody will say, and one gets saved. We don't have the definition of the salvation.
Yes.
For instance, I asked one woman, she was talking about the husband, and I said, is he born again? Yes, my husband is saved. And we kept talking. So she now said, so one day he now went out and he went to visit his friend. And after they have drunk and they became drunk, he now came back home. And I said, okay, your husband is saved? Yes, he's saved. And that's how please stop that. Stop manipulating yourself.
Yes. Hi.
How can your husband be saved
And
go to drink and get drunk and come back? So it depends on the definition of salvation. If the salvation is real, if it is genuine, we're not going to have these problems. Because God knew that 2 of you were in a contraption before he met you and got your hearts regenerated. So he will integrate it. Because when you were in the darkness, when you were not saved, we cannot bring the issue of God's will or not because you were dead. I don't understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
When you were not saved, we cannot bring the issue of if this marriage is God's will or not because you were dead. You were considered non-existing. Now that you are saved, you are now existing. It's now we should now bring the matter of God's will into it because you are now existing. You get my point?
Yeah.
And since God made the 2 of you exist in the union already, he will perfect his plan by uniting your hearts.
Yes.
Uniting your hearts, you now move to pay bride price, you move to get the church blessing, and things goes on peacefully. So if you now come and start saying, is it God's will or not, while we were dead, you were dead. You see, you don't talk about health insurance for the dead.